So, as a part of course 5, the Management of Information Center discipline, Master of Library and Information Science, under Module 2, that is MIS, System Analysis and Control, subsection Unit 18, Library Management, Records and Process. This class is being given for library management and its records processing. As a part of that, everyone should need to know some agenda under this module, right from introduction, library management, library records, concept, objectives and needs, types, process of library records management, summary and conclusion, then exercise, short question 5, MCQ 4-5, learning outcomes, recapitulation, and of course some suggested readings, that is bibliography, and some sources which we are using to prepare this PowerPoint presentation, right? So now let us pay attention on what is library management. Since this is the basic paper of library management, it's my primary duty to say something about the library management. What is library management? Perhaps you all are knowing that library management is the adaptation of principles and techniques of management to the library situation. It includes decision making and getting the work done by others. The 5 fundamental management functions are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. See, the very word reporting is notable on our today's class, that is recording a process of library management. So why we need to record something, why we maintain file for something, why we need to hold data, information in a file? Simply the answer will be to report somebody else. They may be authority of the university, they may be authority of the department concerned, they may be funder agency, they may be government, they may be policymaker, they may be UGC. Means this is the mirror of performance. We need to uphold our performance records in the form of data, in the form of information, and that should be kept and maintained in a proper way. And since you are the students of library and information science, community expecting that the library people will preserve these things or maintain these things very efficient manner by applying our basic primary knowledge on classification and cataloging. So how to maintain the records, how to maintain the data information, how to maintain file, and how to make this entire process some sort of community friendly and user friendly, administration friendly, so that we will cater the data on demand by the concerned agencies, as I said earlier. Now, the library management means efficient and effective management of materials, that within bracket we can say information resources. Then machinery, men, that is human resource. In one hand library users, they are also human resource, and in another hand library staff, they are the capital human resource of processing data, information, knowledge, right? And since we are living in the ICT based society and our every footstep is driven and guided by technology, so technology, without technology we cannot move forward, and our basic saline and oxygen to move forward is money to meet the objectives of the library. Thus, librarian is manager of performance all the functions in very efficient and simple way. So as I said, to maintain different library records. So library maintains different types of records to exercise control over its routine functions as per established norms. Some records are created prior to the period in the library becomes operational. The others are created and captured in the course of conduct of library operation and services. As a student of library science, you must learn and understand about the nature and type of such records and their functions in the context of library work. Means, some records we need to maintain before the library becoming operational, and some records we need to maintain on the basis of what library operational mode. I mean, what are the different services we are catering, what are the different number of resources we are having, what are the different assets we are holding, what are the different types of building, furniture, fixture, all these things. Because first and foremost and primary thing we need to keep in our mind that basically every government institution is nurtured, maintained and nourished by public taxpayers' money, right? So public has every right to inquire whether we are misusing the public money and wasting the resources what we have, and whether we are collecting the resources in proper fashion and manner. Now you see, library records, its needs and objective we need to study. There are several objectives. I am giving you the entire text and some reference sources from where you will get the at length text for your preparation for examination and other things. Here, since it's a very class kind of thing, I need not utter all the things, but the main needs and objectives may be reiterated, that to document actions and decisions taken in a library and to conduct library business in an orderly, efficient and accountable manner. Then to provide consistency, continuity and productivity in the library management and administration. To deliver services in a consistent and equitable manner as records help to bring and maintain uniformity in routines. To support and document policy formulation and managerial decision making and to promote informed decision making. Then library records is another set of kind of needs and objective is records provide benchmark measures to monitor and evaluate the progress in performance, efficiency and achievements. Record lends support in formulation and revision of policies, programs, systems and long-term strategic plans. Record lends support to various library proposals such as expansion in the building, demand for additional staff, as well as to proposals for more funds for acquisition and new service or services to add up. Then records serve as source material to construct library history and maintain library memory. Records in the form of catalog serve as a tool for efficient access to the library resource. And as you know, simply cataloging is a library locating tool. There is no other issues to maintain the catalog, nothing but locating the resources of a particular document in a particular position of a particular library. So records as proof of budget utilization to fulfill audit requirement. Yes, this is very important thing, that since as I said that we are nurtured by public money, so we need to face the audit and government queries, and to do it very efficient, honest and transparent and uniform manner, we need to maintain the all sorts of proof, means purchase bills, vouchers, invoice and proper order, then approval of the competent authorities, then appropriate committee's decision, resolution and some other related things, and then the agreement in terms of e-books, e-journals, Creative Commons. As you know, we need to maintain some sort of license agreement with e-publishers, e-vendor and some other physical vendor too. So these all need to save my transparency, afford the librarian and library is transparent performance, right? So record of workload help in rational allocation of manpower across various departments. Here department means, don't mix it up. This is not, I'm not talking about academic department like Bengali department, Odia department, physics department, history department. No, I am talking about here, I want to mean by department is In a big library, as you know, in a university library or a college library or some national library or some research institute library, we are having different departments or sections or units to steer up the library works and functions very congenial and environment friendly manner, right? Acquisition section, technical section or processing section, then circulation section, then reference section, then in some library it may be reading room section, then periodical section, then digital library unit, then main stack, then archives, then digital library unit, then reprographic unit, then bindery section and maintenance section or office administrative units. So these are the core departments which I want to figure out, right? Now, records as data of utilization of services to justify library expenditure to the parent management and the society. Now, we need to know the different types of library records. Basically, the library records may be categorized into three different parts based on its lifespan and contents and the form of presentation of information. Again, the record as per their lifespan may be further subcategorized into three different parts, that is permanent record, semi-permanent record and temporary record. And similarly, records as per their content may also be subcategorized into four different parts: records of resources, financial records, service records and administrative records. Accordingly, records by form of presentation, that is descriptive and statistical. By descriptive, what I want to mean is that sometimes we need to note out some some lines or information or some sentences like that. This is what actually I want to mean descriptive kind of presentation. And statistical, it is very clear to understand to you all that it should be data, numeric data, exclusively numerical data to tabulate in the form of tabulation and in the form of some charts like pie chart, bar chart, Venn diagram, some line diagram, and then histogram, pictogram, like that. Now, the library records maintained by the, as I said earlier, different units, different departments, different sections of a library. Based on their routine work, every section need to maintain the raw records in their section. Then somebody will be assigned by the librarian or the library authority to compile the data. Let's say, give me an example that in a big library, there must have in every point usage register. It may be at the reference section, it may be at the reading room, it may be at the periodical section, it may be at the library main stack, it may be at the digital library unit. So, when authority will ask what was the total footfall of the library. So, from all these sections, people need to give the primary data. Say, for example, reference section said that we are having 100 footfalls in the year. Then our periodical section, they may said that 900, reading room they may said that 2000, and stat people say that it is 4000. So all this 4000, 2000, 900, 100 all together coming 5000 or 6000 will be the total usage or footfalls, physical footfalls of the library. Then again, considering the ICT's era, digital library or website or opaque or opaque or remote access, that login, hits, then download, all these things, view only, all these things again clubbing all together will come the online viewer or online footfalls, and on the other hand, as I said earlier, will be the physical footfall. So all these two will be combined, reflect the total footfalls of the library in a given period. It may be annual, it may be monthly, it may be quarterly, it may be half yearly, whatever asked by the competent authority. We should be accountable to provide the data. Only it should be possible when we will be able to manage this type of different register in different points, and on demand we will be able to give the data. And every month in many libraries, since I am a practiced librarian, we found that okay, it is going on, but at the end of the month, there is no addition of the total visit in a particular month. The moment I am asking them to provide the data, then they are taking one day to add it up. So that is why monitoring is also very important, and the section people need to maintain their data in a weekly or fortnightly or monthly to add up or to compile the data from all the sections, so that it should be on the regular basis compilation is going on, then it will be very quicker to give the data in annual mode or on demand mode, right? Now let me figure out that, as you know, in some other papers or some other classes or some other teachers might taught you that what are the different sections of a library. Here I am just giving you 8 examples of different sections of a library. This can be treated as indicative, but not the standard, but not the model, but not the only or compulsory, right? So acquisition section, which is the entry point of any library resources. Then technical processing section, circulation section, reading room, reference and documentation service section, periodical section, bookbinding section, administrative section or office you can say. Then each section creates and maintains records to help conduct in routine in a systematic order, right? In some library they might have thesis section, in some library they have archive section, in some libraries they have special collection section, in some library they have manuscript section. So it is endless. That cannot be figured out in a slide or by anyone by saying that this is the standard kind of sections or departments of units of a particular library. This is depending upon the individual library based on their area of bigness or scope, and also the availability of staff. The sections can be categorized to administer the library properly and to disseminate the library service very efficient manner, right? Now let me switch over. What are the different records then maintained by the acquisition section? See, as I said symbolically, that the acquisition section is the entry point of the library valuable resources, particularly reading resources, be it kind of physical or print books and journals, and also electronic or invisible or digitized books or journals or thesis and others databases like that. So they need to maintain different records like suggestions from library members, staff and authorities. Because to make a library user friendly, this is also a part of innovative practices of a particular library. So before to order the books, you need to know what is the demand of the community. And here by community I want to mean the library users. And by library users, categorically we want to mean that the students, then the research scholars, then the faculty members, then the pension holders or common people or any kind of guest users. To satisfy them, we need to know what is their requirement. So in a big library, they have the register, they have the form, so that students and the library incumbents or clienteles, they are entitled to submit the requisition of their requirements, particularly on books. Then on the basis of that, acquisition section will prepare the list of requisition. Then finally, in tuning with the availability of budget, they will place the order. So there should be order file. Then let's say I am giving order 100 books, but the vendor or the supplier or the publishers will supply out of that 100 books only 80 books. So 20 books may not be supplied by them on several reasons. Maybe not available in the market at this point, maybe outdated, maybe back edition is available. Whether we will accept back edition, then only they will provide. So there should be a 2 parallel file. One is supplied file, one is non-supplied or unsupplied file. And unsupplied file, again we need to check why this book is not being supplied and what is the precaution we need to take, whether we will take special drive, whether this book we will try to procure through interlibrary loan, whether this book we will try to procure in e-format or digitized format or some other using open access resources like that. So then placing order with appropriate supplier. When the order material is received, It is checked for correct supply, entered in the accession record, and transferred the books to the technical section for further action. So here you see, the interesting thing is the main records of any library is accession register, be it handwritten, and by virtue of this ILMS, Integrated Library Management Software application of ILMS, we are nowadays do not take any handwriting accession register to save the manpower, because we are running a dearth of every library. Library books need to be entered in a register called accession register. That is the heart document, heart record of any library. That is accession register, and accession register. So this is the accession register. This record is to be maintained by the invariably acquisition section. Then the invoice file. Then all these things when will come, that should be properly maintained, and there should be a ledger. There are different ledgers for keeping as described below. Ledgers for recording of invoice, that is bill register for every category of library material such as books, serials, subscription, and non-book materials, including electronic sources. Ledger for adjustment of expenditure against funds allocation already made for each subject, each department, that is budget allocation register. Then what we need to know is that ledger for accessing of material, that is accession register, and accession cards tray. Then library records acquisition section, files, correspondence file, suggestion file, legal file, cards and slips in tray, statistical sheet. See, this suggestion file means that this file contains suggestions received for a books, periodicals, etc. from library members, staff of various departments and authorities to develop the library services so that it will be able to satisfy more and more users' requirement. The legal file. This file contains agreement documents such as terms and conditions of supply of books, standard operating procedure, any policy document, license agreement, right? Then sometimes we are having some license agreement with some vendors for servicing of AMC maintenance service and other things. So cards and slips in tray. In every library when you visit, you found that there are some tray. Some tray is used for book card, some tray is used for library card, some tray is used for book requisition slip for before the counter where it is a closed access system, but in case of open access system this is not required. Then statistical sheet we have to maintain also. Now to have these things, library records, how to maintain file and numbering of a file. You see, a big library or a big institution or a big office or a very small office, the logic is very simple and same and equally applicable to all these sections, the basic logic of maintenance of file. First and foremost things, let me point out that every file there might have 100 papers. So from the first paper we will get the number at the right hand top bottom corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, likewise page number of a book. Right, so that if anybody tamper or tear off any particular paper from a particular file, it will be identified automatically. So don't forget, whenever you enter to a particular job for a library or an institute, be a teacher, be an administrator, be a staff, your basic duty will be to maintain the file, the page number of every documents in a particular file, right? Then every file there must have a number, and you have to maintain an alphabetic indexing of the file. Let's say in some big library they are having more than 50-60 files. So how can you pick and demand one office staff will provide you the file? So file number 1 for acquisition section, file number 2 for circulation section, file number 3 for maintenance, file number 4 for generator, file number 5 for furniture, file number 6 for generator service, file number 7 for computer peripherals, file number 8 for the say AC maintenance, file number 9 for university engineer, file number 10 for accounts office, file number 11 for finance office, file number 11 for our administration, file number 12 for our category 27A, 27B, 27 like that for professional assistant and or onwards, assistant librarian onwards, then general file 1, then library committee file, then library advisory committee file, then departmental purchase committee file, then without policy committee file, then SOP file, then audit file, then RTI file, n number. So we need to have writing. Now, whenever we sending any outgoing letter to any office, that is called dispatch register. So every letter or every notice bear a number of a particular office, that is called dispatch number. And this is again very artistic how to numbering of letter of outgoing. Let me say that, say I am taking the example of we are doing work at the central library, Netaji Subhash Open University, right? So at the very beginning it will be NSOU Netaji Subhash Open University CL Central Library, then slash front slash, then we have to maintain the serial number of the dispatch letter, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this should be in a particular financial year. I mean from 1st April to next year 31st of March. So in this span we need to give from 1st April, first letter will be first, and then serially it will be going on. So in the second quadrant it will be the serial number of the letter, then again front slash, then it should be the financial year, right? We are now following 2014-2005. Then after slash the file number, within the parenthesis file number, maybe within brackets 17, maybe within bracket 27A, maybe within bracket 63A, that is seminar, conference, etc. like that. Okay, and in the right hand side it should be date, so that the file number will be automatically, that particular letter will be particularly indexed in the respective file number. So dispatch letter number will be the counting in the particular file of the particular index, so that it should be a very simple and logical process to find out a particular letter. Whenever I found out the letter file number, that file we need to go from the index, right? Accordingly, whenever any letter become in the library from any offices, be it outside of the campus, be it within the campus office, there we will maintain the docket register. Serial number will be like that, and that docket register also maintain in which particular file this letter is being annexed or enclosed or attached. So docket register and dispatch register is also maintained by the administrative office of a unit. So that is very, very important, and I am very keen to give you some idea how to maintain the library file processing and to file pagination, every page and its numbering, then the docket dispatch register, and accordingly the filing process. And if it is technical processing unit, they are also authority file. Sometimes we are not giving the entire 14, 16 after decimal digit of a particular book classification number or call number. Rather, we can take the decision that only after decimal 2 digit we will use. In the authority file, the whole 14 digit will be there, but for the stack and the shelving purpose, we will give the 3 digit point, only 2 digit, and then kind of book number, that is called entered together call number, because as considering the spine side, the number and the printing should be readable from the far away. That is why 14 digit, 17 digit is the grammatically DDC may give the actual number, but for our authority file, for the maintenance of the stack and cells, and for the easy retrieval by the users, easy finding by the users, we should give 2 digit or 3 digit or 1 digit or in the main class only. That is the depending upon the authority file. Let me give the example of a school library like mathematics. So it's fine, only 510 mathematics, right? So there we do not have much collection and do not have very species of the mathematics as a subject. So there it's very unnecessary time loss of giving the grammatical DDC classification number, and that is why even being a school librarian, they need to maintain the authority file, that what kind of things, even for cataloging, we cannot give this all areas, in what area we will what write, at the note field what we will write, and second line what we will write, everything. If from every standard, if we deviate anything, and that we need to write up in a position, and that position should be filed properly, that is called authority file or deviational file, right? And then catalog, statistical sheet, transfer, register. In a library, after purchasing the book, they may send it to different sections of the different seminar library also, so there should be a transfer register. Then library records of circulation section, likewise circulation sections need to maintain different records, transaction register, transaction ledger, then files, book cards, library membership cards, acquisition, then duplicate card file, then application, different forms, temporary forms, all these things will come together. Then periodical section, likewise they need to maintain some sort of files for them. And this is a sheet, that a list of indicative library records from access and register to visitors notebook, and there is some file where I am giving this bill file, authority file, books or periodical order file, and here I am just giving the file name. And in the ICT's environment or computer era, we are also in ICT's environment for soft copy files, folders, pen drive, external hard disk, biometric entry, everything should be maintained and stored in a data format, so that we will be maintain our file and records following certain and standard process, so that we will be able to disseminate the data or information on demand by the appropriate authority and agencies. The prompt, our system, our process will be such that it will be cater the data faster than machine, even if it is in print or traditional mode of filing system, right? And this is, now let me just give you some snapshots. We are fragment of our class, and let me just go to stop, take back or feedback, or you can say take home, that is library records, needs and objectives. You know, this is called book card, and this is the library catalog card. During your cataloging practical class or theoretical class, you have been taught that what are the different sections of a library card. I am just giving you the library catalog card hard shape, but these things is maintained in the soft copy card, that is our online catalog card too, right? And this is, you see, the access and register format, or the practical reflection from a library access and register. This is visitors get registered, and you see the annual report. This is very, very important component of any library, to submit the annual report or bi-monthly or bi-yearly or on-demand report. So in the annual report, there are compulsion or important or mandatory elements which are called executive summary. There must have a summary at the very starting, then it should be introduction. I mean, the people, those who do not have enough time, they will only go the executive summary to have the idea of the library. That's called executive summary. Somebody is mixing up. What is the difference in between executive summary and introduction? So executive summary is the reflection of introduction to all the points in a synoptic form. In our library science language, it is rightly called abstract of the annual report. Right term is abstract. Here it is called executive summary. Then introduction, then year in the review, then service provided, what are the different services we have provided, collection development status, then usage statistics, then financial overview, then staff and administration, who have been appointed, who have been promoted, who have been retired, who have been transferred. All these things will be figured out in the annual report. Then technology and infrastructure, what technology have been procured, what technology have been induced, what new technology has been started, what is our performance record, what was our last year, what is the current year, then what is the development, like that analysis also to be made here. Then challenges and opportunities, because every institution, every library is having some challenge and opportunities and threats towards also. So in this annual report, what are our basic challenges and opportunities that we need to mention. Then goals for the next year, what are the future plan for the library in the next coming year. Then appendices and acknowledgement, because you see, many a times we forget about to acknowledge and to recognize our colleagues our community, because our annual report, preparation of annual report involves the contribution of many peoples of the library. So at the end, being a library authority, we must acknowledge the roles of the library staff and the section in charge, whatever may be their designation, whatever may be their position is, they are entitled to get the proper acknowledgement and diligence from the library authority, right? Now let me sum up. In conclusion, we can say that records in library terminology are documents containing details of processes, activities and results of some functions of either the whole organization or a part of it. Library records are maintained in the form of ledger, register, files and cards, slips. Records bring uniformity in library tasks and serve as a standard for evaluation of performance. They are used as supporting documents for new proposals and serve as source material for compiling the history of the library. They also help meet audit scrutiny and justify the need for library as a social institution. Record can be divided into various categories by using different criteria, such as the lifespan, contents and form or presentation of information. And before concluding, finally, let me say, in big university, in big college nowadays, we found that the librarians or the library professionals are playing a catalytic role, playing a leadership role for every office, how to maintain the documentation, how to maintain the document in a proper file or the records by applying our sense of classification, by sense of our cataloging, what are the different ways the file should be prepared, how it should be stacked up, so that our administrative officers and their staff will be easily to figure out, to call for and to get the actual paper on demand. Because in a big university or a big administration, we need to serve the community faster than the machine is, because nowadays we may not forget that the average patient's value of the community or common human is 6 seconds around. So they may not wait for a particular service for 6 hours. When they are not able to see in a social network, if you go through, if you release more than 6 seconds, people will just pass it by using the finger. So keep in the mind, we need to maintain our office records or the data or the process need to be maintained such that the library and information centers must be managed very efficiently, very effectively and very transparently, so that we will play a triggering role that our upper office, that our common office, that our general office will follow up and copy us, right? Now, for your study, you are supposed to consult this kind of questions. Why a library need to maintain library records? What are the different types of library records? What are the records of an acquisition sections of a library? What is the annual report? What are the major components of a library annual report? What is the difference between file and register? And if I talking about some MCQ question, a sample MCQ question, records as per their content are of 3 types, 4 types, 5 types, 6 types. So you have to pick up the right option. I think you can guess the right answer from my deliberation. Second question may be that there are different ledgers for record keeping usually maintained by acquisition section. They are 3 types, 4 types, 5 types, 6 types. So right one you have to note out or ticked out. Then legal file is maintained for. This file contains agreement documents to keep all correspondence with the suppliers of library material. This file contains suggestion received for book, periodical, etc. And for all of the above. You have to opt the one out of these 4 based on the earlier deliberation. Now, control type record associated with circulation section include notes library membership record, books on record, record of overdue charge collected and deposited with accounts office and all of the above. So students, based on that, and at the end also I am not throwing you in a sea of unknown. If you consider this URL or the list of books, whatever I have given over here, this is also thesis, right? And this is the books. So if you consult all these things, I think you will be at least have some primary idea, knowledge, conception, how to maintain the library records and files for efficient and effective process and to run our library, be it public library, be it school library, be it research library, university library, college library, whatever may be the type of the library is, irrespective of the type, all these things can be carried out in very simple manner. So thank you.